Hi, everybody. This is Gad Saad. Well, if you weren't impressed with Elon Musk for his endless innovative endeavors, whether it be Tesla or his SpaceX project or, you know, digging a tunnel under LA to solve the, endemic traffic problems and countless other, out of the box thinking that he is engaged in, there's a new reason why you should appreciate Elon Musk. And that's because he apparently despises the grand bullshitter Noam Chomsky. Many of you who've been following me for a while know that I'm not a fan of Chomsky. Yes, he had his universal grammar many years ago as a linguist, and people have debated, the veracity of those theories, but he certainly was a serious linguist. But once he, in my view, entered into politics, he was so driven by his delusional ideologies that much of what he said was nonsense. That doesn't mean that everything that he said was nonsense. I mean, he criticized postmodernism in a way that makes my heart flutter. I despise postmodernism. I call it intellectual terrorism. And certainly Chomsky was no fan of the French postmodernists. And so, of course, he said things that were vertical at time, but his focausality, being, finding a way to link everything to Israel and to the U.S. military-industrial complex is so outlandish that many of you might remember that I've created a game called 6 Degrees of Noam Chomsky, whereby you take any ill effect that any bad thing that happens around the world, and then you have to blame it on the U.S. military-industrial complex in 6 steps or less. And more generally, in the Parasitic Mind, I talk about 6 degrees of focausality, of which 6 degrees of Noam Chomsky would be one manifestation of that. It's basically a cognitive trap. You find your villain, and then the entire world is viewed through the prism of your preferred villain. And so Chomsky was a guy who basically argued that the Khmer Rouge, the Cambodian killing fields, were really in a sense, a delayed PTSD response to the U.S. bombings of Vietnam. So the Cambodians rounded up millions of their people and exterminated them because, U.S. carpet bombing of another country. So he literally found a way to blame the killing fields of Cambodia to the U.S. So, anyways, to go back to Elon Musk, he had written Chomsky sucks, very pithy and to the point. And so I wrote, since Elon Musk tweeted today that Chomsky sucks, let me remind you that Chomsky has uttered insane things about politics for 5+ decades. His hysterical and delusional anti-US positions would make young Earth creationists appear profoundly smart in comparison. And then Elon replied to my tweet. He said, he is a mind virus for fools. My. It looks like somebody maybe is reading Dr. Saad's The Parasitic Mind. Or, well, since you don't have a copy of The Parasitic Mind yet, certainly been following myself. You're using the language, mind virus, idea, pathogens. Well done, Elon. I've extended him an invitation to come on my show. Let's see if he does accept the invitation. It'd be fun to chat with him. But anyways, so then I went ahead and I started doing my satire of the grand bullshitter, meaning Chomsky. So let me just read you a few tweets. There's quite a few of them. So Chomsky can blame the U.S. military-industrial complex for the Achilles injury that I had in 1992. I'm not kidding. Every single ill and calamity in the world is blamed on the U.S. military-industrial complex. His hyper and delusional focausality is an affront to human reason. And then once I get manic with these satirical tweets, I'm like a bulldog. Do you suffer from diabetes? Please consult Dr. Chomsky. He will explain to you how the U.S. military-industrial complex is to blame. Asthma, you say? No problem. Same cause. Your child has a learning disability? F the U.S. Oh, and down Israel, Zionist pigs. Is your wife having an affair? Please consult Dr. Chomsky, who will explain to you why the U.S. industrial military complex is to blame for her infidelity with Rocco, the sexy Italian gardener. Oh, and yes, F Israel, those Zionist pigs. I'll just do one more, but there's many others. Have you put on weight during the COVID lockdown? Please consult Dr. Chomsky. He will explain to you why your weight gain is due to U.S. foreign policy and those Zionist dogs in Israel. Chant death to Israel and watch your weight melt away. Satire is powerful because it exactly distills the reality. Chomsky sees everything in the world through the lens of bruh, Israel bad, bruh, U.S. foreign policy are bad. He's never met a dictator that he didn't, find virtue in. But the real bad guys are Israel, those Zionist dogs, and the U.S. So someone now will write, but wasn't he right for saying this or not saying that? Of course he does have a brain. He does once in a while say something that is veridical. The old adage of a broken clock is right twice a day. So that can hold true that he says something that's worthwhile. But the totality of what he's known for, other than his universal grammar, which is his Marxism and his delusional anti-American and anti-Zionist stuff, is insane. It's the perfect manifestation of the old adage, which I actually provide a full quote to, the old adage of, to the one who has a hammer, the world looks like it's made of nails. Everything is due to the U.S. military-industrial complex. No nuance, no modulation. Everything is due to evil U.S. That's grotesque. It's idiotic. Marxism is not a good idea. It has been tried many places. It fails everywhere. It is contrary to human nature. Retire, Chomsky. And I say this, I don't mean to be disrespectful. He is a man of a certain age. My point is not to frivolously attack him, but rather his ideas have been very influential to generations of schmucks who are now the ones who are toppling the statues. So has he said some good things? Yes. Has he been an influential academic within our landscape? Of course he has. But has he said some profoundly deleterious things? Yes, he has. And there's nothing sacrosanct about him. We could criticize him just like people criticize me all day long. It's part of a free society. We engage in debate and may the best idea win. From my perspective, many of his ideas are going to be tossed into the dustbin of history. Have a good day, everybody. And Elon, don't forget, the Godfather has invited you. That could be the highlight of your life, to get a chance to chat with this gorgeous guy. Talk to you soon, everybody. Cheers.